Hi guys, so today I'll be talking about how Ethereum works. Now that we cover with what Ethereum is last session, I'm going to explain how the platform function under the hood. So using the Ethereum, the application doesn't require one entities to store and control its data. To accomplish this, Ethereum borrow heavily from Bitcoin protocol and also its blockchain design. So Ethereum aims to abstract away Bitcoin design, however, so that developers can actually create application or agreement that have additional steps, new rules of ownership, and alternative transaction format or different ways to transfer state. So the goal of Ethereum turning complete programming language is to allow developers to write more programs in which blockchain transaction could govern and automate specific outcomes. So the structure of Ethereum blockchain is very similar to Bitcoin in that it is a shared record of the entire transaction history. Every node on the network stores a copy of this history. The big difference with Ethereum is that the node will store the most recent state of each smart contract, in addition to all of the Ethereum transaction. Ether transaction. So for each Ethereum application, the network needs to keep track of the state or the current information of this application, including each user balance and all of the smart contract code where it is all stored. Bitcoin uses unspent transaction output to track who has how much Bitcoin. So it might sound more complicated, but the idea is actually very simple. So each time a Bitcoin transaction is made, the network breaks the total amount as it is paper money, issuing back the Bitcoin in a way that makes the date behave similarly to physical coin or change. So to make future transaction, the Bitcoin network must add up to your pieces of chain, which are classed as either spent or unspent. So Ethereum, on the other hand, uses account like bank account funds. Ethereum token appear in a wallet and can be ported to another account. So what is the Ethereum virtual machine? With Ethereum, every time a program is used, a network of thousands of computers processes it, and contracts written in a smart contract specific programming language are computed into bit code, which a feature called the Ethereum virtual machine can actually read and execute. So all the nodes execute this contract using the EVMs. Every node in the network holds a copy of transaction and smart contract history of the network. In addition to keeping track of the current state, every time a user performs some action, all of the nodes on the network needs to come to an agreement that this change actually took place. So the goal here is for the network of miner and the node to take responsibility for transferring the shift from state to state. rather than some authorities such as PayPal or bank. So Bitcoin miner validate the shift of ownership of Bitcoin from one person to another, whereas the EVM execute a contract with whatever rule the developer initially programmed. So the thought of using Ethereum might sound intimidating, but it could also be very rewarding. If the unstoppable world computer develops according to plan, it could provide alternative to the Facebook and Google that many people use every day. Anyone with a computer or a smartphone can try the platform as long as they own Ether. And unique piece of the code that allows update to the blockchain ledger. So Ethereum wallet, first of all, you need a place to secure your Ether, or at least to store your private key. So there is plenty of options for wallets to store your cryptocurrency, such as desktop wallet, web wallet, hardware wallet, and also paper wallet. So choosing one depends on your preferences for convenience and security, and usually these two concepts are at odds with one another. So the more convenient it is, the worse the security. So for the desktop wallet, it runs on your PC or laptop. One option is to download an Ethereum client, a copy of the entire Ethereum blockchain. So there are a few Ethereum clients written in the different programming languages and with different performance trade-offs. So this process can actually take up to a couple of days and will only increase as Ethereum grows. The wallet then needs to stay in sync with the latest transaction on the blockchain. So for the mobile wallet, it requires less data to be downloaded to connect to the network and make transactions. So they are actually more suitable for download to smartphone. For the light client option is more convenient but not that safe. Full Ethereum client offer a more secure way of receiving transactions because they do not need to trust miner or node to send them accurate information as they validate transaction themselves. So storing private keys on the device that is detached from the internet is a method known as cold storage. It's actually harder to hack and is best used for storing large Ether holdings. However, this method is not as easy to use as when Ethereum is stored on a smartphone or internet connected computer. So for the hardware wallet, which is often as small as a finger or two, it offers the best of both worlds. This secure device that can often be detected from the internet can sign transactions without being online. As for the paper wallet, another cool storage option is to print or carefully handwrite a private key on a slip of paper. a paper wallet and lock it somewhere secure like a deposit box. Online tool can generate key pairs directly on your computer, not on a website server, which could leave keys vulnerable if the site is actually hacked. It is also possible to generate keys using the command line, provided you have the necessary cryptographic package installed for your preference language. So with all that said, again, if you lost your private key, it's actually gone for good. So best practice is to actually spend extra time creating multiple copies of the private key and slashing them in different secure locations in the event that one is lost or destroyed. So buying Ethereum, obtaining them by country or at least by currency, you need to find someone either online or in person which has it and wants to trade. Exchanges allow users to buy it directly with dollar or Bitcoin. Typically, there is also sign-up process. So Bitcoin is the most commonly used cryptocurrency, and people around the world are more likely to want to trade it in their currency. So once you have Ethereum, you can send it directly to another person, which is peer-to-peer. It will likely cost a small transaction fee paid to the miners. So users with Ethereum can join or create smart contracts. It's a code that automatically execute the terms of an agreement so that you don't have to rely on a third party. Bundles of smart contract can be used to create decentralized application which you can use or join. So how does it work is in this system there is two main components that user need for identification. One is the public key and the private key. So it usually represents a scrambled string of numbers and letters. These two keys are linked together by cryptography. The public key can be sent to others so that they know where to send your money, and if you want people to send you, you will need an address, a scrambled string of letters and numbers different from the similarly scrambled public key for people to send coin to. So to spend it, you will need to sign over the funds with your private key, which, as the name implies, is similar to a password. In the credit card terms, is similar to the PIN you use to unlock your funds at an ATM or in a store. So what's the benefit of this system is that in open blockchains such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, is that user can generate an identification number for their fund at any time. They don't need to wait for a bank to approve a bank account application and present a credit card. So for now, I'll be talking about ICO. So what is ICO is People commonly refer it as initial coin offerings. It's somewhat similar to IPO, which is initial public offering. And one of the two major differences is that you are not going to own a share in a future company, and it's somehow connected to a blockchain. So, why do most of the startup company actually prefer ICO? Uh, is that this concept might be relatively new, and even though the old IPO might look safer, however, some ICO benefits are just unbeatable. One of the benefits is actually retaining controls. You are not sharing your company with an investor. You sell him a future service, and that's a huge difference, as you will get the money and also still be able to control your business. Second would be globalization. While some companies go door to door to find an investor, with ICO itself, you can immediately raise money from anybody in any country worldwide. So how does ICO works? Uh, Using an ICO fundraising model is not just one size fit all. The challenge is in aligning oneself with crypto user in a transparent way, where buying into a product token makes sense. So products and services that can rework themselves into something blockchain related will find it much easier to execute a successful ICO. So there are two types of set up a token to sell. The first one is distributed organization share. This is similar to selling a company share. However, it is much more simpler. It's not regulated. It might be illegal in some circumstances. The second would be altcoins. Projects technically raise money by creating and then selling their own native application, tokens or coin. So an ICO is fundamentally different than raising money through a virtual capitalist. Another means is that you sell your platform without giving up the rights and also becoming a public company from day one. This means everything you will do will reflect on the price of your token, and your team discussion are likely to push publicly and multiple times a day about the price of your token. The process of money raising often starts with creating the white paper, which state the complete project details, like what needs the project will fulfill, money needed to undertake the venture, and what types of cryptocurrency will be accepted. So to understand this better, there are different phases associating with ICO. The first one will be analyzing. It is very important to analyze the need of blockchain from your business project. Building decentralized application is more expensive than the centralized one, and the computing cost associated with this type of structure is often on the higher side as compared to AWS. So analyzing part starts with brainstorming on the economic model, finding needs of token for the business, and also defining the function or utility of the coin and token. So the second part will be planning. The most important components in planning are deciding on the offerings, token, design, white paper, precaution against hacker, and doing the communication. So you can actually start defining with the amount you want to raise and the result you are expecting with the particular distribution method. So the planning phase is focused on the business requirement and also the motivation behind creating ICO, like raising most amount of money, building broad base of supporters, or any other motivation. So keep a clear picture of processes you are going to follow. This will include deciding cap, the money you want to raise, allocation of money between team, investors, partners, and also deciding the source and hard capital. Planning process also contain working on some essential elements such as the type of currency you are going to accept, the KVC process structure, and how long your offering will be for. So for the launching of the ICO will be bring all your planning to execution, building the communication strategy, and also use the visible channels to communicate about the projects. So for this point, it's actually very important to keep your team members ready to respond for all the raised inquiries by the public. And it's also good to hire a law firm who has experience with the blockchain company and also running an ICO process. So after the launching of ICO, it's actually preferable to maintain proper communities and posting regular updates, information about the products. So what are the steps in doing this is first is to maintaining an updated GitHub where potential contributor can review everything, keeping updating information on crowd-sourced landing page about the milestone archived. The third one will be having updated LinkedIn profile of team members and advisor so potential contributor can connect with them. Still don't know how many minutes. 6.
Never turn.
So now I'll be talking about creating your ICO website. A website is an important avenue to enable potential investor to reach your product with ease. Investor won't buy your ICO token if your project lack a professionally designed website. So it's important to create an attractive website that includes all the important data that potential investor might be looking for. So an ICO website should include certain items like website languages. As ICO crowdfunding has becoming a global platform, your website should be translated into multiple languages. So in addition to English, you might want to translate your website into Russian, Chinese, French, and Spanish. So basically, the more translation you are able to offer, it will be better. Secondly will be the home page. Most successful ICO have websites which contain a professional design landing page. On most ICO crowdfunding platform, more than 90% of the data is present on the website landing page. So before the actual launch of the ICO crowd sales, most of the ICO campaigns present a countdown timer on the website landing page that marks the beginning of the crowd sales. Usually the website also include an email subscription form to keep investor up to date by opting in to receive news about the project. So after the actual start of the ICO, the landing page occasionally adds a counter that shows the total amount raised via the ICO. And the third one will be detailing the project. The website should include a section that details information regarding the project goals, technological innovation, roadmap, current status, and other relevant data. So such section is actually very important for the investor as it helps them to understand what they are actually investing in. So the fourth one will be ICO token, which is the most important segment of the website, where you actually describe the detail of your ICO token. So this section should include the token's name and the ticker symbol, the use of the token price and offer bonus if available, and the amount of token offered for sales during ICO as well as the total amount of tokens. And how to get tokens for free from airdrops, the start and end date of the ICO sales, and also the percentage of token held by the project owners. So lastly will be the documents. The website should have a section that includes the project documents such as the white paper, the legal paperwork, and also the project roadmap. So this is what I'm going to talk. I'm going to end it here and then I will continue in my next session about it. 29 cannot. Yeah, so maybe the next session I'll be talking more about Ethereum, like how to mine it. Yeah.
How to mine?
Okay.
How many seconds?
I shall end.
Bye bye.